Greetings, everyone. Pardo here. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. That's right, it's Wednesday, new release day. Today we got a book review for you here on this particular episode. This has been out for, a month and a half, something like that. Really cool biography on a really cool band that totally deserves to have a book written on them. I'm talking about Destination Onward, the story of Fate's Warning by Jeff Wagner. Okay, Jeff Wagner, of course, very friendly with members of the band. He's been a big fan since back in the early days. Jeff has done work with Inside Out and lots of other different outlets and is really the perfect guy to write this book. And it's actually telling and probably great timing that this particular book comes out now, when it's pretty safe to say that the career of Fate's Warning, at least as a recording band, is pretty much done. They haven't come out and officially said it, but again, Jeff has interviewed and spoken to members, past and present, about their history here and about where they are today. And it's pretty much, again, it's not official, but they're pretty much done. Their most recent album is their last album. They, I think, wanted to do kind of like a final tour, but COVID kind of put a stop to that. So you may still see like one last tour from them, but basically the long career of Fate's Warning, which started in the early 80s, has pretty much come to an end, sadly, but 13 studio albums, lots of great tours, lots of great songs. One of the basically the godfathers of progressive metal. I mean, there's no other way you can state that. I mean, along with bands like, I guess, Rush and Queensryche and certainly Dream Theater, Fate's Warning helped shape what we now know as progressive metal today. So this is a really great book that goes all the way back to the beginnings of the band. And, with the first album and Night on Brocken and pre that, and takes you through each and every album and kind of what went on during the recording of the album, the lineup changes over the years, the tours, the stops and starts as far as like being commercially accepted, and dealings with Metal Blade Records and Inside Out music, and it's really a gripping story, and kind of sad as well, of a band who was poised to break kind of big, and then all sorts of events just happened that really just kind of stalled them from being a band on the level of their contemporaries, like a Queensryche, like a Dream Theater, and partially that could be due to the nature of Fate's Warning's music. As someone who's been listening to them since the very beginning, or pretty close to the beginning, I first became aware of them on their second album and became a real fan with their third album, Awaken the Guardian. But their music, as we've discussed here on the channel before, I think always a little bit more dense and dark, that appeals to a certain demographic of heavy metal or progressive listeners, but on a more mainstream level, maybe not quite. But at the helm throughout their career is guitarist and founder and main songwriter Jim Mathios, who, as you read this book, you get a sense that he was a challenging guy to work with, very much a perfectionist, very much someone who didn't bring people into his inner circle as far as like the creative side of things all that easily. But a very, very good book. And again, you get to hear from everybody who was ever associated with the band, which is, Joey Vera, and of course Ray Alder and John Arch, and Frank Oresti, and all past and present bass players, drummers, guitar players, Mark Zonder, of course. So it's really cool because you get to hear from everybody within the Fate's Warning family. You get to hear from Brian Slagle from Metal Blade Records as well in here, and his love for the band and really wanting to do right by the band, even with Metal Blade's kind of limited resources, right? So this also is a very good book to get like an understanding of how the music industry works. And that, I think, is just as fascinating as hearing about the band. So, again, each of the chapters is basically filled with photographs, black and white photographs, studio, live on stage, promo shots, that sort of thing. And each chapter basically goes, at least once they start recording, album by album. They even go in depth in here talking about the Arch Mathios albums, which I think is pretty cool. So you do get mentions of some of the other bands. We do have some color photographs here. They do mention Ray's other prog metal band, Redemption. So, they mention Jim's solo album. So you do get some little bit of information there. Basically just a band, a thinking man's, heavy metal band or heavy prog band. A lot of discussions with Mike Portnoy, who was very, very close to the band. So there's Mike right there. The disappointment that John Arch really couldn't continue with the band because John had a problem with touring. Right, so how that was such an emotional time for the band when they had to go out and find a new singer. Getting Ray into the band, who was a perfect fit, but then Ray, kind of pulling Ray from his his home in Texas, because Fates Warning were a Connecticut band, to relocate to New England, and how hard that was for Ray. There's a lot of talk about that, about how, once the band started moving to other places, they became a little less close. So this is a really, really in-depth study and look at this band, which, quite frankly, I've been a fan for all these years. A lot of these little inner workings within the Fates Warning camp and some of the things going on, I wasn't aware of. And this gives you, literally you feel like you've been right there with the band all these years. And very, very fascinating. One of the best books I've read on a band, especially kind of like on a niche band, in a long time. This is, Jeff, if you're watching, this is really, really well done. And I think any friend of mine or person that I know that is even mildly a Fates Warning band, I'm going to suggest that they read this. I'm going to be like, here, take a couple of weeks, read this. You're going to learn much, much more about the band than you ever did before, and it probably will help you appreciate their music even more. So yeah, job well done. I would say run out and get this. You can get this. I'll give you the link to it right now. It's fateswarningbook.com. Okay, that's where you can order it. So again, written by Jeff Wagner, Destination Onward, the story of Fates Warning. And again, is this the last we've seen of Fate Warning? I guess only time will tell. Seems to be that is the case, but in this world, never say never. I kind of think that Jim is the kind of guy where he's ready to move on to something else. He's ready to move on to something else. I think we've kind of seen that with him over the years. So perhaps this is the end of Fate's Warning, but we've got a great discography that we'll all be able to cherish for years to come. And if you've seen them live, lots of great memories there. So, but yeah, read the whole story right here. fateswarningbook.com. Check it out. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. All together, all the damn time. Please make sure you hit that like button before you leave us today. Very, very important for the YouTube algorithm to get this video out to more and more people. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We also have the notification bell, so you get alert of all these videos as they post. And down below, we've got the link to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as the link to our merch page, where you can get all sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility shirts and hats and caps and hoodies and all that fun stuff. Lots of different styles and logos and whatever. And we also have a big sale going on. Our 4 best-selling shirts are now available on Amazon. So there's a link down on the merch page where you can go over to Amazon and get one of the 4 or all of the 4 at a greatly discounted price for a limited time. So go check that out. So thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more stuff here today. New product reviews. And as always, we'll see you real soon. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.